Welcome back.
Welcome back on this fine Tuesday.
Yes,
We sure have been missing you guys.
We have been.
I'm Paige.
And I'm Cyndi. And this is Mom's the Word, where Mom knows best.
Or at least she's trying her best.
We are.
Cyndi, how excited are you for today?
I'm literally so excited.
Got your little boo thing over there.
My husband, Chris, is here. Or Daddy Bear.
Yeah, here we are.
We are continuing on our Father's Day episodes. Y'all know we had to push him back just a little bit.
Yeah.
But he is a father. Great one.
I'm a father?
Welcome to the podcast.
I didn't go on Maury to find that one out yet, so you are the father.
Well, I think you might be disappointed in the results if you did it on all of your
Very
kids.
true. That is very true. Wow.
Blood relation.
I didn't even think
anyways.
of that, but you're good. All right, there you go.
I'm witty like that.
I like it. I
Gotta
like
be quick
it.
with it. Gotta be quick with
I
it.
cannot. He's
You
been a
do
daddy
know-
to a lot of kids.
You've
A
seen my
lot.
husband, right? Like, you gotta be quick on your hands
That's
around
very
that
true.
one, you
That is
know?
very true. Yeah.
It's true.
But I'm so excited that you're here. You finally get to see this side of what we're doing.
I know,
He's
it's
never
crazy.
even been down here, you guys.
First time walked in, said, wow. Wasn't expecting what I saw, but here we are.
I don't know what he was expecting.
I didn't
though.
know that he'd never been in here.
No. He's always with my kids at the house.
I didn't even have the address. I
Mark's
told
had to
Cyndi-
drop you off before.
Yeah.
Chris can't. Yeah, he can't do that
I
for
told
me.
Cyndi I had to find her location to know where I was going
Good
today.
thing he
so-
has to find my friends.
Yeah, it was good.
Hilarious.
I'm like filming, like he's texting me. Oops.
Yeah, but I walked in. I said, "Damn, they are professional."
I mean,
Thank you.
Wow, got a whole audience watching us and everything right now too. It's
Isn't it?
great.
Isn't it
yeah.
interesting?
Look,
It
a
is.
whole,
Sometimes
a
you'll
whole
get-
band here.
Yes, yeah.
He's legit. He makes us more legit than we are.
I believe it. Yeah,
Sometimes you'll get animals. We do have dogs that come in.
I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, just be open to company at any
And
time.
lunch.
Yeah, we will have lunch after
Ooh,
this. They do
wow.
provide lunch here. They
Top
treat us
notch.
well.
Top notch.
I'm so excited you're here.
Speaking of treating people well, husband of the century.
Aww.
Yeah, you, sir, over there.
I'll
My
take it.
goodness. One thing I love about y'all's relationship more than anything on the planet is how much y'all really are a team in every aspect, whether it's housework,
Yeah.
it's being parents,
Absolutely.
doing anything, everything. It
Oh,
is
yeah.
50-50, I would say, 100%. I would say it's 100-100.
But yes.
Y'all
would agree.
literally both
Yeah.
bring in every
Yeah.
single bit, but you really are sharing the load of parenthood. And so let's
Of
talk about
everything.
that. With being a dad, how do you feel?
talk about it.
Sharing that load, like, because I don't feel like a lot of dads do that. I feel like a lot of dads lean on the mom to
I
genuinely
get that.
like perform the full act, but
Right,
you
right.
don't. Like, if it's bedtime, it's a bath time. You're in there. You're
Yeah.
in there like swimwear. You're doing it.
Absolutely. And if she's doing, like the bedtime, bath time, then I'm cleaning up the house or
Yeah.
picking something else up or whatever. So
Yeah.
I think we are the best team.
Mm-hmm.
I can't compare it to anybody else, but Scottie
For
Pippen
us.
and Michael Jordan or something like that. But
Oh my God.
I think
Mark
we are great.
Dennis.
You would love that one, wouldn't you?
Mark would have loved that.
There you go. But I
He
think
says Scottie Pippen so much. I don't even know who that is, but
it's
I
the
knew
forgotten
exactly.
33, isn't that what he? Okay, there. Anyway,
We don't know, guys. But I guess we're them. Who am I? Scotty?
well, clearly you are
Pippen?
Michael Jordan.
You gotta be the
Yeah,
Jordan.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, I'll still be the Hall of Famer, but just on the background.
I love that.
But anyway, I 100% agree with 100 and 100. I think we are both that way.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. It's what's worked out for us from day one. That's
Yeah.
what it's been. So
Yeah.
we are
You
I
know
feel
what,
like
pretty good team.
I've always been very vocal about like needing help. Like, what do you mean you're not gonna come and help me?
Well, you both signed up to be parents, right?
Yeah.
And especially because y'all both decided to be foster parents,
We did.
which,
Yes.
which adds in a whole nother level of stress and things. So it really does have to be a team effort there,
Absolutely.
especially, or it's not going to work.
Yeah, and what's crazy with Cyndi and I, when we were dating, we talked about foster and adopting and all that stuff. Not even like, hey, we're gonna get married, and what do you think about kids or anything like that. It was like, I don't know. It was like one of the very not first conversations, but early in our relationship that it was heavy on both of our hearts.
What are your
of-
thoughts on it? Like, how
Yeah,
do you feel
yeah.
about it?
You've told me
Those
that
kind of
before,
things.
that you both were like open to being foster parents. It wasn't like,
Right.
oh, well, I'm going to be. It was more like, oh, I'd love to do that one day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you both
Because it's
just
important to talk about those things, when you're beginning a relationship.
Hell yeah.
And I knew that I wanted children. I knew that I would love to be a foster parent. I knew I would love to adopt if it came to that. I was very uneducated about the adoption system then, but we both were like, yes. Like, as soon as I said it, he was like, oh yeah, I would do that. I know people who do that.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that pretty much exactly how the conversation went. So yeah.
But it has been, we've had harder times though, because, Chris just started working from home for a few months now. But before that, I was home all day by myself. Like, I don't take for granted that I now have him home more, but he was gone all day. Chris was in car sales, if you guys don't know. It's very hard. And he was gone all day, but he would still come home and would put us first and help me. And there were times I'd be crying on the phone.
That's a huge
Actually,
thing.
a lot. Crying on the phone a lot to him, and he would feel so bad that he couldn't come help me. But then when he would be there, it just takes so much off of me. I don't feel this like okay, I'm doing it when you're gone, and then I'm also doing it when you're home. Like, that's not fair to me. I never felt that. I always
That's
felt like,
really wonderful.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a huge thing with him being a working dad is that a lot of dads, or I don't want to even say a lot of dads, but some people, whether it be the spouses, some spouses believe that if you have a job, like if you go to a physical place for a job, when you come home, it's time to kick up my feet, it's time to relax.
Right.
Well, you also have kids.
Right.
And it's not just that parent's job. But it also, that goes the same for a stay-at-home parent. When your husband or your other spouse walks through the door, that doesn't mean that your time to be a parent has immediately checked out.
Yeah.
It means you get to now share the load. It's a little bit lighter, but and so that's a really beautiful thing that you guys both know. Like, whenever he comes home, he's not just going to check out. Now, that's not to say if you have a bad day at work, you can't take some time.
Absolutely.
Of course, you can take some time to yourself to like regroup and everything like that.
You get about 3 minutes, and then I'm just kidding.
And it's not to say that we
only
always have
3 minutes in the closet.
That's right.
And it's
That's
not to say
right.
we don't,
Cry it out.
we
Be
don't
done.
have not perfect days. Obviously, we still
Right.
struggle with like, dang, I need a break.
Yeah.
Right.
And we still vocalize that to each other. But it's more so that we are helping each other out.
Absolutely.
Well, the communication is the key there.
But
is
yeah, I'd be
that-
communicating so much, he's probably sick of it.
Gosh, I see it pop up on that caller ID. And it's like, oh, what happened now? Yeah. No, it's honestly, like you said, you get done with the 9 to 5, you come home, and in my case, it was like, 9 to 9,
Right.
So I get home and she's already exhausted. So those days off where I was, with the kids all day, I made a point to go take a break, go do something else, let me be dad, let me focus on it so you can get that energy back and all that stuff. But, it's 100 and 100. That's what it is.
Yeah.
If you're struggling, if you need somewhere for me to pick up, then we talk about it. We get it done, So and it's, I don't need to be told, do the dishes. I don't need to be told to pick up here. So
that is hot.
That was, settle down. I got a ring
Now
on
listen,
it. All right.
I do
my
sometimes
God.
though will tell him, and not like a go do it now, more of like a, hey, I'm gonna do this, like can you do this, like just teamwork, and he'll do it
Right.
to me too. He's like, if you do bedtime, I'll get this kitchen clean and we can sit on the couch together.
I
Correct.
guarantee you that gets you laid more than you realize. And it's not because it's so hot that you're doing the dishes. It's because she didn't have to do bath time and then come out and
Settle
clean
down.
the kitchen.
No.
And then she's tired from all the
Exactly.
extra things.
Absolutely.
She came out and everything was done. And then,
Well, I
I saw
knew
a little
that.
bit of energy.
I knew that, and I read that somewhere. So I do the dishes, get laid. So dishes are always done. So
You know?
Yeah, and it's as
did you
little as
text my
like.
husband?
Yeah, it's as little as like
Right.
even like literally last night. It was like we're doing our nighttime routine, and it's literally like, do you want? He'll ask me, do you want to put the kids to bed, and I'll do this, or do you want to do this? Like it's as simple, literally, as just asking me something. Well, where were we?
I don't know. We're talking about getting laid.
That's the perfect way to come back in.
cannot.
We had some mic issues, you guys,
Yeah,
so we want to make sure you can hear.
Wait, so what were we talking about? Christmas.
It was great. It was great.
No, that's
So
good.
do the
You
dishes.
help. You help. That way,
does.
there's not
That is it.
so much for her to do afterwards, and maybe she'll want to do you.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's beautiful.
I don't know if it's like because of how he was raised, because like his dad was really helpful, honestly, so helpful, and did a lot of things. So maybe that's what it is. And he was raised with 2 sisters and a mom, and so like he just really cares about like women in general.
Yeah.
So
I know growing up, our whole family was always helping.
Yeah.
I mean, and it didn't matter whatever, if it was at home or out and about or whatever it was.
in
it
the
was
church, everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Like we were very active. We were very helpful with everything. We volunteered for a bunch of stuff, and that's where it came to. Oh, here come them Hoffers, and that's what how
People always ask me that. Where did that come from?
Yeah, because here come them Hoffers, and we're gonna get stuff
Now
done.
somebody was
That's-
like, oh no, here comes them Hoffers. When I was walking with his family and I wasn't a Hoffer at this time. And I was like, oh, everywhere we went, they're like, oh, there's them Hoffers. They made it. And I was like, that's kind of catchy. Mm-hmm. Yep. few years later, we are.
And
the
y'all are
numbers.
totally instilling that in Bear too, because like whenever I moved, Bear came over to help, and he was the most helpful one of the day.
That's
Y'all.
right.
He was like, "We're getting shit done. We got to go."
Yeah,
It
there
sure
ain't no
makes you-
sitting out in our house.
It sure makes you proud when your son picks up, and just gets going with it.
Yeah. It has to be a good feeling to see him just independently being like, "I got this," and just
We don't
running.
know what
stuff.
we're doing, y'all, but we're doing something.
It's
a
working.
struggle,
I think you're doing a
but-
great job. I
Thank
think
you.
you're doing a wonderful job. Speaking of Bear, I know that you guys have made the decision to homeschool, and that is absolutely a dual thing, as you do some of the co-op teaching and different things like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel like as a dad? What is your hand in that decision? Did
actually
Cindy come
changed
to
a lot.
you, or
Yeah.
how did that go?
So being able to work from home.
Well, she wants to know, what did it feel like when I told you that I wanted to homeschool Bear?
Yeah.
Because we sent him to first
Oh,
grade.
I see. I got
We
you.
homeschooled kinder,
We did.
and then we sent him to first grade. And how did that go, honey?
Yeah.
Tell him.
I was 100%. I was all for go to school.
Yeah.
Get more of a human interaction. Be around people. Really be around teachers or more of an authoritative figure. So it's not always mom and dad saying, "Hey, do this, do that." Somebody else is over there saying, "Do this, do that."
Yeah. A lot of the times, kids listen better to somebody else too.
Right. So I wanted more of that, and I wanted obviously to be around other kids and stuff like that. And so, yeah, it really was me saying, go to school. Go
This
do
is
it.
coming out of COVID, so we weren't
Correct.
seeing a ton of people. So he's like, "Oh yeah, he's going to go to school and see people."
Right. First grade, right?
Yes.
Well,
First
and it's
grade.
also the normal, quote
Yes,
unquote.
it
It's
is.
Correct.
what people do.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I wanted him to do that. He did it.
I cried through it all.
You did.
Moms do, though.
And
That's
so
normal.
did he. He did not.
That's where it wasn't normal.
Right. I don't want to say he didn't connect because he has and still has a lot of friends from school, but it just wasn't like, it wasn't making me feel good. It wasn't making me like I'm doing the right thing here,
It
because
wasn't a normal reaction.
Right.
Correct.
His reaction wasn't.
Yeah. The first 2 weeks, it's rough. Your kids do cry. They
Absolutely.
do. But it
Yep.
wasn't normal after 2 weeks.
correct.
And then it affected his sleep.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
affected everything.
Everything.
And then they try to diagnose him with things.
Yeah, and it would just, I'm not doing that. If it wasn't affecting him, in the right way, and it was my decision, then it was like, all right, let's pull him out. It was pretty quick at that point, and I think you made it, 3 months? It was Christmas break when we pulled him out of first grade.
And then we were crying every night. Like he was waking up every single night.
He was. It was.
It was really
It has to be
hard.
very
It was
difficult as a
very
parent,
difficult.
and as a dad trying to reassure your wife, who is like, "Honey, do we take him out? Like, what do I do?"
Right.
And her feeling all those emotions too, and you're trying to. Well, I understand you miss your baby. That aspect plays into it. I understand you miss mommy, but is it more than that?
Yeah.
Correct.
And
It was
then to
different.
see that happening.
When he was waking up in the middle of the night having these night terrors and telling
Saying
himself
the most horrible things.
right, telling him that he was not smart, that he was stupid, that he was dumb, that he didn't, and
He was
it
weak.
Yeah, it was all subconscious because when you wake up the next
He didn't
morning,
know.
he had no idea. He didn't know these things. So that was the biggest stab to the heart. It's like, if
'Cause
you
you
were
know
doing
those
this
thoughts are in his
subconsciously,
head.
correct. Why am I going to keep putting you through this? And yeah, Cindy's emotion that came into it with it, but was it he's been with me, forever, and now we're sending him to school. So yeah, I'm going to be emotional. It wasn't that. Like
Right.
she saw the pain in him, and then I see the pain in him.
The anxiety.
Well, it was
Like-
breaking your child.
Absolutely.
it
His
took
spirit in
spark.
every way.
Oh my God, that was
Yeah.
the hardest thing.
It was. So it was the easiest decision to say, come home. And it was more of a little bit of a detox from public school to when we started homeschool. And we jumped into it, come
Yeah.
January,
Yeah.
when it was time for that. And I took on the role of, now you're going to be doing the homeschool stuff too. Cindy did a lot of it. I did it. Come around to August time for second grade. The opportunity, I'm working from home at this point, the opportunity came to do co-op and teach a
Yes.
class, to be involved in
jumped in
that.
it.
Yeah. So
I think that is so cool for
Yeah.
parents who want to do homeschooling. I think
Yes.
that's such an incredible resource.
Absolutely.
Yes. So a co-op is a group of moms or dads and dads, and we get together and we teach our children's. So you're in a location and your children go with them, and it's an all-day thing. They learn all these things. For instance, Chris taught workshop, and they built things.
That's so cool.
Hammers.
Yeah.
I've done
was a lot
all
of
kinds
fun.
of different programs. But anyways, it's an amazing thing. Honestly, if you're looking into something, it is amazing. And then now a huge adjustment that we've made is that Chris actually homeschools Bear probably 80% of everything.
Right.
And we felt that because here I am, I have 2 babies, and I was going to do it regardless, and I've done a great job at it, but I had 2 back-to-back babies, and he could see during the day that I would struggle. And it's not, we were getting it done. We do it every single day, but it was more like I was having to do it around the baby schedule, and it was fine. And Bear would fight me, which they do, the homeschooling. And so Chris would step in, and all of a sudden, he can do everything.
Absolutely. And now it was a lot of, figuring it out, not just our schedule, but his schedule. Was it better to do it first thing in the morning? Was it better to do it, later in the evening, or was it midday kind of
And
thing?
Chris is working still.
Right.
So a lot of it happens in the afternoon now.
Yeah. So we found that the midday point when the babies are down for a nap, then we're
does
going to do
best.
homeschool
Yep.
because it's only focusing on Bear. Let's get this done. Let's learn it. And, move
So now
on.
Chris does a lot, and I'm very grateful for that. I still do a lot too. Like I'm more of like the research-based, like fun activities we do, and Chris is on the math, the writing,
curriculum.
the main core curriculum. He is on it, and him and Bear just have so much fun together.
Well, it
we
sounds
do.
like y'all found a method that works.
We do.
Absolutely.
We do.
So I keep saying absolutely.
That's his favorite word, you guys.
I do it too, though.
He gets called
I
out
do
on
it too.
There's going to be like a ticker on there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But anyways, I'm very grateful that Chris wanted to help me because it is a whole family thing. When you take on homeschooling, it's all of you.
It is. And to sum all of it up with the decision with Bear and all that stuff, not just listen to your kids. Listen to them, and you might in the back of your head, and I did this, like, he's just a kid. He doesn't know what's good for him, like whatever, and that's not the case. Just listen.
Yep.
And not necessarily what he's saying, but listen to his body language.
Yeah, his
listen
cues.
to what he's, what he's doing or what he's not doing anymore that he loved to do,
Right.
So,
you know your child.
right.
You can
right.
see their cues when something's wrong.
yeah.
Yes.
And people ask all the time, are you going to continue to homeschool? And we don't know every year, right? Like,
How could you?
I have said this, and he agrees with me. We are playing it year by year and depending on the child.
Yes.
As of now, it works for us. If tomorrow I decided to send him to school, that's what the hell we decided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Fox. When he hits that age, if he's going to thrive in school, he's going to school, or if he's going to thrive at homeschool. I would love to have them all homeschooled, but it's not per me. I want to
Right.
do
It's
it
their
right
learning ability.
for my child.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think that's
agree.
great.
That's where we're at with that.
Well, speaking of things that definitely cannot be just one of you or the other, that Fox is a great thing to bring up. I got the honor of being there the day that he was officially adopted. Hell, I got the honor of being there the day that he was brought home for the very first time. I got the we're getting a placement phone call and the nerves of the jumbling and getting everything together and all those
Yeah.
things.
Yep.
I obviously want to talk about Fox and the adoption story, but I think it starts at the root of foster care. I think it starts there. What made you guys, I know you said like initially you kind of both knew that was on the journey. When did you guys decide, okay, we're going to foster, let's do this? And how did that journey look from your point of view? Because we've heard hers.
It was pretty easy. We said, hey, we want to do this from the get-go. We got to a place, in our lives, financially and,
at a bigger home.
Yeah. Like everything was just, in the
We
right
had our
place
first
for it.
child.
Right. So everything was in the place that, all right, let's look at it. Let's, not just talk about it. Let's be about it. So we looked up, honestly, it was a spur of the moment that a foster conference was happening. I think like the next day or that weekend or
It was
whatever
kind
it
of
was.
a wild thing. So I went to church on Sunday, and they
That's
handed
exactly
a
what it was.
pamphlet
There you go.
out.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I hadn't been in a while because Bear did not do well in the church nursery, and it gave me anxiety. And so I went that weekend, and for some reason the topic was foster care.
Yeah.
And they gave me a pamphlet, and I was like, Chris, this is next weekend. And then that's how it went. We went.
We did. And we went to this conference thing. We saw all the different agencies and everything that was out there. And the agency that we were drawn to was just like the single 6-foot table. I don't even think they had a tablecloth, nothing. Two
No
women just
banner.
standing there. Nothing. Where all these other ones were big elaborate displays. Hey, come to us. And we went over and we talked to them and just had a conversation. And we said yes. We drew to them.
Yeah.
And from that point, we started, our licensing journey and all
It
that.
came really
And
easily.
It did. And
Now, we did try to go to another agency.
Yeah,
We ain't gonna name drop them or nothing.
yeah.
A huge agency. And they made us feel so unwelcomed. I was like, no, absolutely not.
it was not for us.
No.
So that's why this one was it.
That's a good thing to point out, though, because there may be people who are wanting to get into foster care that have had a bad experience with one agency, and they're like,
Yeah.
well, this isn't for me, I guess. They're not all the same.
Please try
Please
somebody
look.
else.
Yeah.
There are going to be some that really support you.
Yes.
And ours definitely does. And there's a lot in the area, so definitely look for one.
Yeah, get the vibe. You know, if they're there for, in my opinion, the right reasons, they're going to want to help you. They're going to want to be a part of it. Yeah, please look somewhere else. Don't take that as, oh, foster care is over for me.
Right? What does that journey look like from your point of view as a dad? How does it feel to be a foster parent?
It feels great, honestly. You know, so I don't do it for the reasons of, oh yeah, look at me, I'm a foster dad. No. It gives me more opportunity to love more children.
Yeah, and you're a children lover for sure, is what I was
Right.
going to say.
Right.
He's a big
You know,
old
He's
bear.
always got a baby in his hands.
Oh, yeah.
Daddy bear for a reason. So yeah, we've had 15 children come through our home, and I can tell you that every one of them have been loved and have grown and have
We talk about them literally to this day.
all the time.
They all have like a mannerism that they did, and we'll be like laughing, looking
absolutely.
at pictures.
Yeah, and I mean, each one has a special place in my heart. Obviously, I know yours too, but they they grow you just as much as anything else does. You
Yeah.
know, so it's from a dad's perspective, I know that I can give them stability. I know I can give them love. I can give them what they need, and it just makes you feel great. You
That's
know,
really cool.
when you see those milestones of every first step, or we got that furry visitor.
As a dog,
Yeah. But when you see the milestones of, like their first steps,
Yeah.
their first foods, they're crawling for the first time, they're sitting up for the first time. Like you see that, and it's just like, we're doing the right thing. We
Right.
keep pushing forward. We keep doing it, and of course, as it goes through that foster journey, and reunification is always number one, so you know that they're going to go home. So when that happens, it's one of those that, it's okay.
We did what we were supposed
You've
to,
done
yeah.
your part, and they are leaving better today than when they came in. So
Yeah, it's really special to see because when kids get brought to our house, I have to do so much paperwork, and so Chris is always there, no matter what. Even when he was working, he would come home automatically, and as soon as
Yeah.
the child would get to our house, he would go play with the child.
Yeah.
A lot of people ask what that looks like, and sometimes they're scared. We've had a lot of sibling groups, so I would hold a baby or he would, but literally always goes and gets that baby out, that little bitty baby out of the car seat, or the toddlers are in there, and he bonds with them pretty quickly.
yeah. I mean, every placement has been that way. You did all the paperwork, and I would be playing in the playroom or putting a show on the TV, get them as comfortable as we could,
Right.
but yeah.
Yep. Even our little foxy boy, I have pictures of Chris in the kitchen holding him. And at that point, we didn't know we were going to
Little
adopt
tiny
him.
baby.
Yes.
Tiny little guy.
Yes.
I know exactly what picture you're talking about. I can
Yes.
see it in my head in
Yeah.
y'all's kitchen.
And he's just in Chris's big arms. And we didn't know that we were looking at our son.
Yeah.
So,
Your son literally oh my God, you guys, whenever they adopted, literally they have you kind of give vows in a way, like an oath, if you will.
yes.
And
True.
as Chris goes to tell his voice cracks and he starts crying. And I swear everybody in the courtroom started crying.
Chris could not get through it, you guys. He
It's
was
so
bawling.
cute.
Listen, I'm an emotional man.
And he was
We
holding
love you for
Fox.
that.
Yeah. So.
And
it's
Fox
okay.
is so special. He's
Absolutely.
so
So
special, so
special.
full of smiles,
Oh,
and just
yeah.
so sweet, and very much daddy boy in a way.
Oh, my
in a
God, that
way,
boy.
In a
he's
way,
very
'cause he's
playful
very-
with daddy boy, but then at the same time,
He's very mama's boy.
very
too.
mama's boy.
Yeah.
He's very attached.
But we have our hangouts.
Yeah.
We have our Home Depot runs.
And now,
and all
he's
that
now
stuff.
getting older, where Chris and him now do one-on-one time.
We do.
And this week it's been a lot because or the week we're filming Bears at a camp, and so Fox and I've been like, you gonna take Fox with you? He's like, yep.
Let's go. Let's go.
And I'd be like, they'll be like going to Walmart, and Chris be giving them snacks in the Walmart, and
That's
I'm like,
right.
oh my god. They go down to, the snack. I was like, what'd you want? He comes home with all these snacks. Yesterday, he had one of those good to grow Mickey Mouse. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, he knew.
I cannot get Boston to drink out of those. I want him to love them so bad because there's so many cool characters. I'll be like,
Yeah.
look, Buzz Lightyear. He's like, I'm not drinking out of Buzz's head.
Yeah,
Aw,
right.
that's
He's
true.
like,
he's a realist. He said, no,
Yeah.
we're
He's
not
like,
doing that.
That's not you not get juice out of that.
Yeah, we went down the aisle and he was like Queen because he saw Lightning McQueen.
Queen.
And then it
Oh,
was
yeah.
Mickey Mouse. Yeah, you found that one. So yeah,
That's Boston's big one right now.
I had to-
McQueen.
I had to
I
rip
love
Queen
that.
out of his hand to give him.
Literally, I'm obsessed with that. Bear was the biggest Cars fan.
Yeah.
The whole bedroom was
Yeah.
Cars. And so we got rid of all that stuff. And I was like, oh my God, Fox now loves it.
Oh, he does.
Boston is the biggest, and Planes is a new movie that's out. That's like a spin. He's real big into that one. He likes cars so much. The other day, NASCAR was on, and he was like zoned out into the TV, and I was like, "Oh hell no, I ain't
That's
watching
so
this."
funny.
I mean, just zoned out. Mark was like,
Their little interests are so cute. I'm not
Yeah.
going to lie. It's my favorite thing.
That's awesome.
Yes.
It is a lot of fun to get to know your kids
is.
as their personalities come in and they start to
Yes.
say funny things and do funny
gosh.
stuff. Like
Yeah.
Fox will go, bruh, bruh.
Yeah.
He does.
And it's so funny.
Now, Bear, now that he's getting older, he's taking Chris's mannerisms. Like, Chris will come out with you
Oh,
with the
my
joke.
goodness.
And I'm just like, no, I got two of y'all.
Yeah, buckle up.
Yeah,
You've been around Vance and Mark, right?
Oh my God. And he loves Vans. Is Vans going to be there? He's got cool shoes. I'm like, oh my
Right.
God.
He's learning dad jokes, which is pretty funny because he's nowhere close to that. But he will say things like, "Dad, that was a good dad joke, right?"
No, what's his new one?
Great.
He's like my
great.
he did one for his rock. He was like, my parents are trying to get me to learn to pick the guitar, but I'm really good at picking my nose. And I'm like, I freaking cannot.
Really, it's not how the joke went, but it was good. It was a good try.
That's how I can't do it.
That's the way it
Chris and
is.
Bear. But yeah, we're doing parenting is fun. I know people had asked me I did a little question for you. They said, like, what is it like for you when the children go home, seeing my emotions, seeing our kids' emotions? Like, what does that feel like to you?
I mean, like I was saying, there's always a piece of you that goes with the child, a piece of you that's of the child with you too. So I think more the harder part is seeing like Bear, and his, his connection and his emotion that goes out the door with him too, and yours, obviously these kids aren't here for a day or two, they're here for months at a time.
They become our children.
Yeah, they do. And obviously they're treated no different than our children,
Right.
So it's when they do take off, when they go and
Quite
reunify, it's a big piece. And the house is always like eerily quiet,
Yeah.
for a little bit. And then, things start getting back to a normal routine. But
And then
yeah,
the memories
it's-
sneak up on you, or their family will send a picture to you. Like
Right.
the other day, this happened to me and Chris, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
How do y'all navigate that with Bear? How do you help him to understand that side of foster care?
He knows that he is Big Brother, and he knows that he's Big Brother for as long as they're in the house.
And he
you
knows
know?
they go home.
Right.
So
right.
the first two were like the hardest ones. He's
Yeah.
like, what is happening? He cried a lot. But we were very vocal. So I'm very big on like, well, we both are. Like, if we see their parents, we're like, that's their parents.
Yes.
That's who loves them too.
Yep.
Yeah.
They live
Yep.
with us. So it's taken a while, but he's adjusted quite well now.
He has.
And then
He has.
now he has a brother, and so now he got to see that side of things as well.
Yeah,
Right.
getting to actually sit down. I bet that was a fun and interesting conversation. Getting to sit down and be like, "Hey,
He was
we
so
are
excited.
adopting him."
Oh, he was so
my
excited.
gosh.
He had the little brother like that he could show how to throw a baseball with. Like he could.
Oh, and he does everything he wants to do. Come on, little brother. Come on, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It's
he's
like a little
gonna-
mini me
oh
that's
my-
going to follow him around.
He loves it.
Yeah.
And he's going to be like that forever.
And
I'm
Fox
gonna protect
loves him.
Yes. Yes.
And they're still like brothers.
They are. Yes. So don't
go in
touch
my
my
room.
stuff.
Yeah, don't go in
yeah.
my room.
Yeah, I was telling Bear the other day, I said, listen, this kid's going to do this your entire life.
Yeah.
Your entire life, he's going to do this. You're going to be 21. He's going to be 16, whatever it
age
is.
difference
He's going
doesn't
to
matter.
want your stuff.
Oh
you
my
know?
God, it
Yeah.
started. And the
Yeah.
age difference doesn't matter. Like,
No.
a lot of people were like, well, like Bear's a lot older. No, does not.
He's not that much older.
No. Like Fox is 19 months old and Bear's 8. So you think like, 7 or 6.5 years. But no, them two are going to be two peas in a pod. They
Absolutely.
were riding rides together.
Yeah.
No, that's even closer than me and any of my siblings.
Yeah.
Well, besides my oldest siblings, my younger siblings are 8, 10, and 21 years apart
Yeah,
from me,
that's
and
a
we
lot.
all have bonds in our siblings, so they'll do fine.
Absolutely. What did Bear say? He's like, well, I'm the guitarist, and he's going to be the drummer. So,
Yeah.
yeah, they already got plans. Yeah.
Gonna have a little band, little boy band.
Yeah, got to keep growing the band. You know?
The new thing is like the football. So like Bear plays football now, and so Fox will literally start throwing this ball. Fox is going to be some kind of athlete because he looks at his brother.
Yes.
Yeah, Boston
And,
too.
and Bear is obsessed. He's like, I'm gonna teach him everything.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like, and any bitty girl, she's gonna be the cheerleader. And I'm like, yep, got a whole thing here.
Yeah, yeah.
It is cute, but We're doing this thing. This parenting.
We
thing.
are. We are. I wouldn't have it any other way. So.
Fun little gig y'all have got going there. Now I know obviously parenting is part of your journey forever, but y'all's love story is a fun one too.
It's pretty sweet.
We've heard it. We've heard a little bit about the Jelly Belly factory and finding her, but I would
tells
love
me,
to
tell
know
me.
what it was like whenever you saw Cynthia.
So
Cynthia
said
Contreras.
So listen, when she walked in day one, I didn't know who the hell she was. And I did her interview.
Gotta have her.
So,
No, it did not start.
No, not at all. Not even a little bit. So I was her manager. I hired her. So I hired my wife. Sweet Jesus. I hired her.
Are you hearing that, folks?
Yeah, that's how it works.
All you got to do is find a new employee.
That's it. They said 10 to
Hey, I
work,
found
so-
mine at
was
I
legal
found mine
age.
at work.
See?
So
Of legal age, everybody.
I sat her down and did this interview to fill a position. Got done with the interview, and my criteria was really, really whatever. It was like if you can hold a conversation, you get the
This
job.
man shows up with a pen, a foot long, for the interview. A foot long.
a hot dog?
No,
A Subway sandwich?
it was like
Jelly
a
belly
big
pen.
jumbo pen.
He's like,
Oh.
he's
Oh, the pin was a foot long. I
Yeah.
thought you had a
Yeah.
foot long sub or something.
no. He has a
Shit,
pen.
I must be
Oh,
hungry.
he got
Jelly
that
belly,
too.
not Subway.
I was like, you got a hot dog? What do you mean? I thought he brought a coney.
No, and he asked me the dumbest questions.
Listen, it didn't matter. Obviously, Jelly Belly was a really fun job. We enjoyed ourselves. We had a lot of fun there, but we did the interview process. Yeah, yada yada yada, and she got hired. She ended up getting fired. You know, a couple
did.
weeks later.
You got fired?
I didn't
sure
fire her. No,
did.
so she got fired, and one of the other
I'll be
employees was
damned.
like, "Hey, where's Cyndi at?" And I was like, "That's a good question. Where is Cyndi? She was pretty cool." So we brought her back in because she wasn't supposed to get fired, and then she started hanging out with my
This
friends.
is fucking tea.
Yeah,
No,
it's-
literally, the lady didn't like me.
right.
And
Bitch.
so she
Tell me her
put
name.
my name in. Oh, she got fired.
Period. Karma.
My bad.
Yeah,
It was
wonder
weird.
There
whose
it
fault
is.
that was.
But anyways, she would bully me all the time. So at this time, I had a scar on my eye, and it was like, so when I was little, I was shot with a BB gun in my eye, and it left part of it in my eyeball, right? And it was like right here. It was like hanging. And she reported me for having a piercing, and I was so embarrassed because it was like self-conscious at the time. And she would report me for that, for touching my hair. She hated me. And so, like, luckily I made friends.
Because you're beautiful.
Yeah, luckily I made friends, and they liked me. And so he brought me back, and then she was a bitch.
She was.
And
Yeah.
so I went and told on her, and then it happened to be that like they interviewed other people, and they're like, she's doing it to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, bitch.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tried to interfere with fate here.
Yeah, thank you.
But anyways, at that time we were not like vibing like that.
Not at all. So she was.
When
he was
did
a-
you
he
start
was a good
vibing that way?
manager. He wasn't trying to be with nobody. you
Nothing
guys.
like that. Nothing like
What
that.
had
She was hanging out.
happened was-
She was hanging out with one of my good friends, and like me and him hung out. They would hang out. We would all be at my house,
I
kind
had
of
a
thing like
friend
that.
who was dating his friend.
Right. So they would date, and then it sort of just left Cyndi and I to do
Together.
our thing, you know? So we would play ping pong at my house or whatever and just hang out. That's really what it was. We were hanging out. We were watching Giants games. We were always together. And then
He was like, damn, she's cool as hell.
just,
It's like, I gotta wipe this
She
lady
likes-
up.
She
Yeah.
likes baseball.
yeah, pretty much. She got a booty.
That's how
And we
Mark
literally
did
just
me.
started to like fall in love.
That's
Like
pretty, yeah.
literally. It all had started like one time we went to miniature golf.
Jeez. And I ruined it.
Yeah, and so like I could tell at that time like he was vibing with me, and the holes were full of water, and my ball was in there, and he like flipped that water up, and it got all over me. And I had like white.
He got
pants
you
on.
wet?
Yeah. Yeah, but
Not
anyways,
that way. You know, it was the worst way,
anyways,
you know?
and it's so cute. Chris was so pure, you guys, and just like so kind. And then he didn't want to cross the line because he was my manager,
Right.
So we hid from people.
We did. We hid for quite a long time. And
Mark
would
and I
say-
did for almost a year.
Well, ours was about that
Yeah.
too. Yeah. And we ended up going to a
And we had
trip.
friends who nobody, only like 5 people knew.
Yeah, literally like 5 people. But we ended up getting caught like the day before we're leaving for this like week-long vacation trip or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I got pulled to HR. She got pulled to HR. And I'm like, well, that's the end of Jelly Belly for me. You know, it's great
that's
while it
not what
lasted.
happened.
And I walked into HR and they sat me down and said, Chris, we're so excited for you. We couldn't, be more proud. You picked a wonderful person. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this is not my termination. Great. Awesome. I'll enjoy my vacation now. So that's what it was. They
So
were like,
I got called there, and I did get fired as his employee, and I got moved to a different department.
Right. So that was
She
it.
just got a transfer.
That's
Literally.
it. Yeah.
And then
Instead
I
of
fucked
being,
shit up over there too.
yeah. Instead of being under me directly, she went to
Under my friend.
Yeah, which
I
is
had fun.
yeah. So
And then that was it. Then he asked me to marry him a couple
The
months
rest
later.
is history.
Then we fell in love, and then
He
we had a
asked me to marry him a
child.
little.
and
Then they
we
had 15 more.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And that was that.
And now
No,
you're just
we love-
living life,
and now we've been
doing
married
this whole
for 10
TikTok
years.
thing. Yeah.
Doing TikTok, wow. And babe, did you ever think that I was going to do that? Do
I
TikTok and
did.
social media?
Yeah, social media, absolutely. I mean, you said it from day one that you're going to do it, and I believe you. There you go.
Yep, I would try vlogging and stuff like that.
You had a blog.
I had a blog. I've done it all. I've done it all, guys. And my husband's a working man, and I was just a stay-at-home mom. Not
pretty much
just.
it.
I am a
No,
great
so no
mother.
such thing as just a Sam.
Just a mom. Yeah.
That's okay for me though. I love being a mom.
I love that. Well, I think it's time that we bring Jay
Yes,
in.
Jay. Come on, Jay.
Jay needs to come on in and start questioning Chris as well.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Hello.
All right, everybody. Jay is here. Welcome back,
guys.
Jay.
I'm scared now.
Jay is here.
Oh my God.
Got into
So,
trouble.
Juicy stuff comes out.
No, I told him not to
extra
do
juicy.
that. I done prep Jay this morning, and do not do that, Jay.
so first, I would just like to tell you all guys how much I love Chris. Okay, I love Chris. So, one today he washed my kids and he washed our dishes. Isn't that crazy?
That is what he
I was like,
does.
"Did you wash the dishes?" I was like, "The ones next in the rack," and he's like, "No, the other ones." And I was like,
Babe.
"No." And he washed our dishes. How sweet is that?
That's how I felt the day that Kyler came over and cleaned the whole damn house while they watched Juliet. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to marry him.
There was nothing else to do, so if that makes you feel better, the floors were clean.
No, you know
Just
what?
put away.
Stop that shit. That whole, there was nothing. Kyler did the same thing. He was like, well, I had the time. And I was like, when? When? Because I'm here every day and I don't have the time.
That's because your baby wants
I was like, you let her, she'd let you put her down?
I know, yours doesn't let you do that.
Yeah.
So another reason why I love Chris, guys, is fun fact is sometimes when I'm around straight heterosexual men, sometimes I feel a little uncomfortable because I'm like, how are they going to be? Are they homophobes? Are they accepting? You
Because
know,
some men will
how's the
say they're
vibe?
not, but they are a little bit.
Yeah. And then I've had a lot of friends that I've been friends with, a lot of girlfriends, and they are allegedly cool with their wife being friends with like a gay guy, and then secretly they are not. Like I've had a lot of them. They're like, no, he just wants to sleep with you, and I was like, well, maybe
Not even in the slightest.
You're like, actually, no.
Yeah. And so usually, like, I'm not gonna lie. Every time I meet like a straight male, I'm like,
You gotta size them
I'm
up.
like, you know.
Let me read you right
And,
fast. Are
with-
you an ally or
Yes.
not?
Yeah.
Right. And with Chris, it was just very comfortable. He's very kind and nice. And what you'll learn from these episodes is that Chris and Kyler are super alike. It's scary. It's actually crazy how similar Cyndi and I are. Like literally
Oh,
personality,
God,
a
it's
lot.
nuts.
Like, yeah, it really is. And then when you see Chris
too
and
much.
Kyler, it's literally very.
Oh, well, I'm going to leave now.
Stop it!
I got to go.
Stop.
That's not what we mean. We're very similar to
No.
Paige, but it's like their
Yes.
relationship. Like,
I'm all
Yes.
alone.
in Paige, she's the quiet
There's
one in
no
her
one
relationship.
here
And me, Ben
beside
and I.
me.
Stop it.
No, that's
No,
not what we're
I'm
saying.
absolutely the Chris and Kyler. Y'all just don't think that I am.
Yes.
But
Yes.
whenever they're around, I
Yes.
absolutely am just
Yeah.
like Kyler.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think it's very interesting how our personalities are different. Like when we're all together,
Mm-hmm.
like sometimes I'll be the quiet one and y'all are both being loud, and then sometimes
Or
it's
out
us
of
being
me and Paige. Paige is more than I am. So it just depends on who you're with.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it really does depend on, because when Mark's around, I'm not even gonna try to fight it. Just talk.
no.
Let him
Yeah.
talk. Because he gonna talk. And I'm gonna just stand over here in my
That's how
corner.
Chris feels with me.
Which makes me laugh, because when you were like talking about how you had to like look at like men to make sure like they're allies. When Mark met Jay and Kyler, what did he say? Which one's like the mom?
Oh yes.
Oh my
And I
God.
was
Paige was
like,
like, "Sir."
Mark, let's sit down. Let's have a little education session here, because y'all have to remember my husband's 45. He's got a lot to unlearn, but he's willing, and that's the key there. He was like, okay, so they're both the masculine. I
They're
was like,
both
well, they're
dads.
both
Yeah.
men.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yes,
And it's interesting because I think that you always have to look at someone's intentions when they say something like that. You
Yeah.
can always tell if someone's
Yes,
being
you
rude,
can.
Yes.
and they're doing it on purpose to be like, oh, which one's the woman?
so which one of you is the
yeah.
lady?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And then there's some who just don't know,
Yeah.
right? And so
who
sometimes
genuinely
you just,
are like,
yes.
is this this how it works? Like,
Yes.
I've never been around this before and nobody's ever taught me about it. So will you? I think
Exactly.
it's great that you're a safe space, that you will
He
educate
is.
the right ones.
Yeah, no, and Chris has been very welcome, and obviously so was Mark. He didn't ask me that, but I would have told him. I wouldn't have taken
He
it like
asked
in a bad way or
No,
anything.
'cause you know
and I
he's
mean
not
that's
trying to
exactly
be-
how it should be. Like if you're ever in a situation and you don't know like pronouns or anything like that, ask your person that you trust, right?
Yeah.
So ask your wife or ask your husband or whoever,
Yep.
and then approach the situation. Or you could ask the person, be like, "Hey, question: Is
I think
y'all's
if you're
dynamic
comfortable.
relationship dynamic? Is it the same as male and a woman?" Like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
We rub wieners. No, just kidding. No, but Chris is amazing. If y'all didn't know, Chris is an amazing cook
He is.
and chef. He cooks amazing
I
food.
wouldn't go that far. Listen, you are fantastic, and I'm just Gordon Ramsay.
Do they want to be together?
You
My
see that
God.
I'm not in this? 'Cause
I'll be
I do
damned.
not. I do not.
Well, he could join Kyler and I if Cyndi and him don't work out.
All right, Cindy, let's go.
Hey, John,
Pack
we
it
don't
up.
know.
Let's
Be
go.
like 2 Kylers, you know?
He would have 2 Kylers. No way. You'd be too lucky.
No, literally, how lucky would you fucking be if you had both of them?
Yeah,
No.
that'd be amazing.
Done. I'm done. Pack it up. I'm out.
So, Chris, one of the questions is, what is your favorite meal to cook?
I don't know if I have a favorite one to cook, but I just like cooking. I think my favorite ones to cook is just throwing. I don't want to say throwing something together, but like this elote thing that I'm making for tonight. Like it was. I told Cyndi about it yesterday. I'm like, hey, I think I want to make this, and she's like, oh, okay. It's like it's about to be damn delicious. Yeah. You know? So I got the meal already planned out. Like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And, you know.
You're a foodie.
Yeah, I just think it's putting flavors together.
Me too.
That, you know, and it just makes a nice.
I'm a
dish.
foodie as in I eat it.
Right.
If you can't tell.
Right.
He's been putting the flavors together, and I imagine like Remy off of Ratatouille.
Yes.
with
No,
the
literally.
cheese and the
Exactly.
strawberry.
I was literally going to say some people can do that.
Oh, I'm
I
that
am
girl.
not. I cannot see 10 ingredients in front of me and come up with something. I need you to tell me. But like all of you can literally. I cannot do that.
We should do a chopped challenge
And I'll
and
post
make
stuff.
Mark
We
and
talked about
Cindy
this.
and
Oh my
Kyler be
gosh.
the judge, and us 3 get
We
random
need to do that.
I don't know if
baskets
it would be fair,
and do
though.
it.
Why?
It would not.
I
Would
would
whoop
win.
your ass.
No way. She cooks so good.
I would whoop that.
Chris would come up with some shit. I'm telling you.
Oh, it's
we need to
on.
do
Hey,
it.
you ain't never
need
seen
to
a
do
Southern
that.
mama throw down a
Play the shit
biscuit.
out of that.
No, Bobby Flay was the first chef that I ever like genuinely was obsessed with because of Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off that was on Disney Channel. Do you know what that movie
Yes.
was? Where the kid was like in baseball, but he also loved to cook.
Yes.
And Bobby Flay was
learned
the
to crack an
guest
egg.
chef. Yes, with one hand, and he could crack an egg with one hand. I was
Yep.
like, I'm gonna fucking do that. I was like 8, and I was like in the kitchen cracking eggs. My stepmom was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
So I did like a chop challenge one time. I was on live and I was like, I'm gonna cook this meal in less than 30 minutes. And so I was like running through the kitchen and trying to do that, and I ended up falling.
Oh no!
I ran to the stove to get something, and I said, whoosh, and then my foot hit the stand where my phone was on live, and I fell with the camera and,
And
everything.
thank God we were recording.
Oh my god!
That's right.
Yeah, this could be further from me, guys. Like I literally will just throw some shit together.
Right.
That'd be so
Absolutely.
much fun.
And say a prayer, and hopefully it's good.
Literally, I get it done.
Yeah, right. We had food.
You're a great baker, though. You like to bake things
So
like muffins.
I do,
and-
but I'm not patient. Like I'll master it, and then I'm
takes
like
forever.
over it.
right? You made bread for a couple weeks, and you're like, "All right, good."
Okay, it's still I still make bread. We don't like to buy bread, but I don't eat bread that often. Like I just don't. So we weren't eating it as quickly. That's the only reason I stopped making it. But I do still love some bread.
I love
Cindy's really-
homemade bread too, but
Cindy's really
it goes
good at like
bad.
following one of those Pinterest recipes. You know, she'll see something,
Yes, I am.
she'll put it together. But if it's a step by step, we got this.
Uh-huh.
If it's not, and you just got to put something together.
Or a casserole. Like if it's all
gotta
together,
DoorDash
it'll
something.
taste good. But like I can't just cook a steak. I just can't get it the seasonings right. It's not me.
I don't know.
Anyways,
so,
I
to
love
go
that.
back to the question, if there's a specific dish, there's not. But I love to plan and put together and just know that all day, if friends are coming over or whatever it is, that we're going to have this for breakfast, we're going to do this for lunch, you know, snacks here, have this for dinner, and we're going to finish it up with that kind of dessert right
And just
there.
know when you see it on
That's so
camera that
me.
I didn't do any of it.
Right. You know, it's
That's why I always say, we did this.
right.
Never. A potluck, Chris made it.
Yeah. One of those kind of things,
love
you know, just putting it all together.
But I do cook.
Yeah.
When I do record for you guys, it is me, okay, by the way, but he's not home.
Yeah.
That's true.
So they came over for my birthday, and he brought a whole setup for a pizza party.
Oh yes.
I mean, like
Literally
everything.
was in baggies, the containers with all of the toppings, the pizza dough already made, the
You think I'm
Menus.
extra? He's
everything.
extra.
It was amazing, and so he's the hostess with the mostest. For
He
sure.
literally had order forms so that you could like
Yes.
put which,
It said, like,
what
Jay's
you
birthday
wanted on
party.
your
Yes,
pizzas.
it
was perfect.
It was
Like
very
I have
nice.
these ideas, right? And like I'm always wild ideas. And I literally will party for everything, and then he'll run with it. So that's the problem here. Is that like, I'm like, oh, I want to do this. He's like, yeah, let's do it.
We both love a great theme.
We really do.
And that will be us forever.
I'll decorate.
Yeah. We're going to pull it
too.
off.
Yeah, see, Mark will clean the garage and I'll do everything else.
I literally
So
was
like
like,
we have a party, and he's like, "I'm gonna go clean the
I
garage."
swear to God. Oh, what is it in him? I'll be like, hey, I need some help around the house. You know, we're gonna have people over. He'll be like, yeah, I got it. He's outside fucking ripping up with an axe, ripping up the tree stump in the back corner. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, well, we gotta get this out of here. The kids can't be playing in this. I was like, Mark, fucking sweep. That's what I wanted you to do. So, you know.
That's so great.
no, we love it. Even today, I was like, Chris, what jammies are you gonna wear? He's like, well, what do you got? And I was like, actually, I
Slosh.
just got this one. I just thrifted it. You can wear it. And he's like, bet.
It's so cool.
It's
I love
beautiful.
Yes, it is.
that. Okay,
Give us another question, Jay.
one question. Let's see. Wait, hold on. I just lost my train of thought. That was a really good question too.
These guys are really getting down out here.
No, we're about to go eat too. Look, Ben said, let me go out there.
Let's get this question.
Okay. So the question is, how do you unwind as a dad yourself?
Oh, good question.
We literally talked about this last night, babe. Tell us how you unwind.
He's like, with you?
Something happened over there.
I know his answer.
I got a little bit more cushion, so it's not so rushed when it happens. Yeah. But that's pretty much it. I sort of laid back.
Oh!
I knew it.
My God.
I knew it.
I cannot.
I mean,
He said, well, there it was.
yes.
I answered it.
The literally.
So I guess option 2 would be, I don't know. And I said this earlier with Cyndi too, like having time for yourself and go do something else that's not around the kids or whatever it is. But I mean, I bowl every Tuesday night, so that's sort of like my getaway every week, and I really enjoy that.
And you're good at
He's in a
it.
bowling
Yeah, I
league.
mean, I'd like to have fun with it. You know, it's pretty good, but I don't know.
He has a hard time with it, guys. If I'm being honest with you,
Yeah,
it's a hard time chilling.
I do, but I don't know. I guess I'm not. This probably isn't the politically correct answer, but I enjoy going out and mowing the lawn, or I go and do the pool and do stuff, you know, that I can get done and have immediate results from. That gives me satisfaction. So
I've heard people say that doing lawn work and like gardening and different things like that is therapeutic for them.
Yeah.
So
We've
completely
talked about
makes
though, how
sense.
sometimes like we'll clean when like
Certain
it just
things.
sometimes will, you know.
It declutters my brain,
Yes.
and it makes
Yeah.
me feel better.
So I get
Certain
that.
things.
Yeah, that's how I
now
am with
sometimes
cooking.
I'm
Yeah.
overwhelmed. I'm very much that way with cooking. Like I'll bake. I get into a baking zone. Like if I just start making muffins and scones,
You're like-
be like, "Are you all right? You good?"
the Great Page Bake Off.
Right, you know, I'm telling you. But that's just kind or like me, you know, I like a bubble bath, like a real serious self-care
Yes, you do.
bubble bath to
I like fruit roll-ups.
unwind.
I'm about done with you. I am about.
Hey, it's whatever releases happy endorphins.
wonder
If the
God
red
had that
dye
big
makes
old
him
box.
feel
Paige
great.
does not know what she's talking
They
about.
had like the
Oh,
Sam's Club
fuck.
exclusive.
I know
of the
exactly
fruit
what you're
roll-ups.
talking about.
I was like, dang,
They
their
keep
kids must really like
suggesting
that.
this shit to me. I don't know if y'all know what we're talking about, but it's kinky and it's crazy and it sounds like it's really fucking sticky and messy.
Ben knows.
I clean up messes all day, every day. There's no way in hell I'm voluntarily making that. I can't imagine. You know how fruit roll-ups go soft and they get like real fucking long all of a sudden?
You just eat it.
I'm not
Just like
gagging on that.
spaghetti.
You just eat it.
I guess ours doesn't go soft that quickly. I don't know.
That's probably a
Anyways,
good
you
thing.
guys, anyway.
The ones with the tattoos are really fun too.
They don't. No, all I can see is like fucking zebra tattoo
Literally.
accidentally soaking off in their rugs.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Not sweet
Cyndi.
Cindy.
Cindy just blushing.
Yes.
No.
So anyway, so lawn care is great.
Yeah.
Our pool looks fantastic.
Keep a stock of fruit roll
But it's
Well,
really,
literally.
it is. I really think it's a therapy thing because it really clears your mind. You just, I don't know, just
You like to
headphones
do it.
on or just even with them off. You're just going with it and just.
And we like to be out of the house too.
We do like to go and
Good
do
dinner.
Yeah, the stay-at-home mom that don't stay home.
I do love that you're always together.
Yeah, y'all don't get tired of each
they're
other.
always together. They're going places. They're together. They get off at the store together.
We
I
say
love
this. We are them Hoffers. It's not the Hoffer. It's not the Hoffer. We do things together. She'll tell me, "I'll just go run in." That's no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We are
no.
a
Very
family. Get
sweet.
out of the car. Let's go. Let's go do it. So
I don't know. I just like love being around him, and just like we prioritize each other a lot. Like when people say like, "Why are your kids all in bed at 8 p.m.?" Because I need to prioritize my relationship.
Yeah.
We've always done that, and like that, like 8 to midnight sometimes is like so important for us, and that's like helped our relationship. Of course, we've had rocky parts. We don't discuss or dwell on anything, but like we've really done well with getting through things and prioritizing each other. You have to. You literally have to.
absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah. And we don't have the same love languages either.
No.
Jay loves a good love language.
I do.
And,
I mean, you have to learn a lot about your partner, and so.
And I'll even tell him, like, my love language is physical touch. Come on.
Come on.
And mine is not. Yeah.
Me either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
would
his isn't.
rather
Yeah.
never.
His is quality time for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No, see, I don't even need any of that. I just want to be left alone in my little corner, in my clean house.
But see, that's why it's
With
important to
no
know your
mess.
It is.
partner's
It is important.
Yeah.
love language and have that open communication so that way you're fulfilled in every aspect.
But I think it also is really directly rooted to like how you were loved or how you accepted love as a kid too.
Right.
Because like for me, I spent a lot of time alone with my own thoughts. So now if I don't get that, I feel like I'm suffocating, like I'm being like almost claustrophobic by the energy of everybody needing me. And I'm like, I need to
This
step
is
away.
literally so true. I believe that 100% because I was very coddled and like, my parents' world, always hugged, always affectionate. Like it was never a weird thing. It was just always my dad touching me, holding me, like very loving. And now I crave that. Like when I'm sick, I'm like, please just put your hand on me.
Right.
Like,
Oh,
just
Mark is
please
that. Mark
hold
would
me.
just be like, "Can you just touch my arm for a second?" I'm like,
Literally at nighttime, I put my feet on Chris. I'm
and I'll
like,
be like, "Okay."
He'll be like,
And even
"Roar,"
just
like,
trying to
never.
comfort him makes me like, oh.
and that
But
would
it's
make
what he
me feel
needs.
better. Yes, yes.
And
it
he'll
is.
have anxiety and be like, "Can you just hold my arm for a second?"
Yes, that's the
And
same
he'll just
thing
be
with
like,
Chris.
"Just pet me."
Yep.
And I'm like, "Fuck."
Yep.
That
Yeah.
sounds horrible.
I gotta touch you.
Let's touch me. Yes.
I mean, it's very interesting because like one of the things with Kyla that we had to learn is I would get like upset. I'd be very mad. And I was like, leave me alone. Or I was like kind of like trying to push him away. But I was telling him to push away, but I didn't want him to. I wanted him to come to me.
Yeah.
We're also
and
toxic. We all
break
do
me
that.
down and hug me. And even I'm like, no, don't give me a kiss. Don't hug me.
Yeah.
I really wanted him to, and he wouldn't. And then I would be mad because he didn't do what I told him not to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then finally I was like, okay, remember when I'm like upset and I'm like, no, leave me alone. That's the time where I really need you to kind of help me break my wall down because I'm so used to that when something happens, I have to be strong. I can't cry. I have to put the wall up. And I'm like, and I want you to help me bring that down.
Yes.
And so it is important to have those conversations.
It is.
I love that.
These have been good questions for
It's been great.
Chris.
It's very clear that you guys are a good team.
Last question.
very thankful
What
for
is
that.
your favorite thing about Daddy Bear?
Aww.
Oh God,
This is hard.
are we going? We're backpedaling.
Get the fruit roll up.
No.
What flavor?
Chris as a whole person is just a great man. I love how safe I feel with him. Like from the moment I met him, having these, things in me that I seen that were flaws, and him never seeing them ever. Like him, I just feel safe in all aspects. I feel safe with my kids. I feel safe every time I'm with him. Like he is my safe place, and I appreciate that a lot because you gotta have that person. He's never made me feel less than. He's never talked down to me. He goes with my ideas. He just supports me in all aspects. So I appreciate that a lot. Like I appreciate the safety that he gives me in all areas of my life. So that's what it is.
That's sweet. I would just like to close with.
We're gonna leave now.
Bring the fruit roll-ups in.
Hey, Ben, could you put the curtains up?
The one thing I will end with is I'll say Chris is the type of dad that I wish I had as a child. and because he's such an amazing dad. So.
So sweet.
Now that we're all complimenting Chris.
I know, damn.
I agree. He is a very, very good, not even just a good dad or husband, but like a good friend. You're good energy to be
I think he's a good
around. You're
person.
very attentive. And you're one of those people that
hating
like, right? You don't accept words of affirmation, well, do you? It's okay. I get it. You're one of those people that like. It can be hard to be vulnerable in front of your friends' husbands because you just never know how they'll accept, especially like a woman crying, or if they're just gonna be like, oh God, don't hang around her. She's so traumatic. You have always been so reassuring in my friendship with Cyndi, and to the point that like one time I had a really, really bad day, and I had talked about it online, and I had said like I was having a rough day, and Cyndi called me and she was like, hey, I was just checking on you. And Chris had seen the video in the background, and he came in the room and was like, hey, what time are you coming over? And was like, no, you need to go ahead and come on over. And was like insisting, like, you come spend time with Cyndi and come, take a breather. So I think you just care very deeply for people, and it's a beautiful thing to see, and I love it. I love being your friend. I love knowing that my friend has a good life partner, and that those kids that we love so much have a good dad to lean on to, because too often dads are hard and stern and cold, and you are just so far from the opposite of that. And you really see children that are successful, you look to their dad and you see those like soft, cuddly, snuggly dads that
Don't
are
cry, babe.
that are just capable of being sweet. And I think when you are masculine enough to be confident in the sweet side of you, I think that's the most attractive thing a man
That's
can
BDE.
be. Yeah, that is BDE for sure. Yep.
Y'all can see Chris is a very safe place. Like
Yes.
for all my friends, for all the kids, for everybody, it just makes you feel comfortable.
Just validates everybody's feelings and emotions. You're
I think-
such
yeah.
a great man. Oh my God.
Literally, like I have like a man crush on him because he reminds me so much of Kyler. Like him and
yes.
Kyler are so alike. It's like, oh my God, is this Kyler number 2?
I can promise you, Mark is not Kyler number 3. They're very different. He's my Kyler.
He is a smart.
I'm stuck like Chuck with that little fucker. He's mine.
But I love the way that he can just break up the tension and just
Oh, yeah.
comes in with his energy. And
He has to.
it can be, yes, it can be
Literally.
thick. And he just comes in and just breaks it up. And it's like so funny, so random. I
Our
love it.
partner is definitely
He's so random.
Compliment
Compliment
who we
who we
are
are.
and stuff.
yes.
Because I'm like doomsday. Like, and then he'll be like, hey, did you try this cheese from last week? Like, in the middle of me sobbing. So
literally.
find the person that breaks it up like
Yes.
that.
Literally, you
Find
guys.
that. Find that.
Find your Chris, find your Mark, find your Kyler.
That's right.
Yep,
Thank you,
yep.
Jay, for your
Thanks.
Thank you
questions.
guys. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know how to come back from all of that. So I appreciate the very kind words.
Oh, I love this episode so much.
know.
It's been so much
I
fun
love
celebrating
hyping my husband
Father's
up.
Day.
That was so great. I love that everybody got to see each of our husbands.
Yeah.
Their personalities.
Yeah.
I loved it. So
Why
much.
they compliment us so well,
Yes.
and genuinely what great people they are, and great dads.
Yes.
It's good to have good dads on our team.
It is.
All right, you guys, we're going to see y'all next week. Next Tuesday, we'll be back here.
Yes, you will. As always, guys, keep those giggles going.
And the love flowing.
As always, mom knows best.
Or at least she's trying her best.
And dads do too.
That's right.
That's right.
Bye, guys.